Ashole ngolangurani le Sidai TV engolongo ndarikini na bishano lapa lile talari longa lifuniare otikita muare na kunangoro kiolo monte Sidai TV kaji Samson Simpiri aka Newsman. Ore tolomon liginjengiroshi dakunasa yendama nelimu lomoni nchere. Ekeyu na ore ngebra saboko leng na belegenyigu uchumi oldunganak lengo be Kenya da negweri jingura serikali ya Azimio One Kenya iriko Raila Amolo Odinga na na ji uchumi engasia ipadan pedu mogine belegenyengi shi oldungana poken lelo show urikilikuwa yelo magate ngiroshi osene Raila County ankare rokolo ya nyitile dama olekina edulusoye erishada dorobo lengana ni balunyi urkioma le Azimio One Kenya iriko Raila Odinga endua tenye eramada oldungana lengo be Kenya.
Important thing is that we expect Raila Amolo Odinga to talk about how Kenya is going to double its economy. We want a double-digit economic growth. Number two, we also expect him to come up with a very good foreign policy. Because with the economic development, with a good foreign policy, and a fight on zero tolerance on corruption, it will be able to help this country grow. The other thing, for the poor people, we expect to be able to make sure that we have free education across board. You know, from primary all the way to university level. When we have those free primary education, zero tolerance to corruption, a double economic growth. Number three, a good foreign policy plan which will be able to attract more direct investment into the country, we can then be able to grow this economy. The other most important thing is that we've talked about Pesa Mfukoni. We have been on the campaign trail talking about how much money is going to go to the poor people. The 6,000 shillings which is Raila has been promising, we expect Raila to be able to talk about that money today. The problem we've had in this country is that we've got a lot of promises and nothing has ever delivered. Look at Kenya. Kenya has already made a decision. Today we want more manufacturing sectors. I can tell you in Narok County we are going to build more livestock factories, we are going to build more dairy factories to be able to help. Now it will be important for the first time in history for the national government and the county government to work together in line to continue growing the economy. So I'm really excited about today. I know for a fact that our people will end poverty. Let me tell you, anyone out there, and tonight I want to speak to those people who are still doubting whether Raila will become president. I want them to see what is happening in Kenya. Everybody is being able to differentiate between real economic growth, real prospect in terms of developing this economy, and poor leadership. When you look at what our opponents are trying to offer, it's a lot of hogwash. What we are offering is really key. And I think today Kenyans will be able to believe that at least they too can be able to get an opportunity to live well in this country, to enjoy this country. But take home double economic growth, manufacturing sectors improved, more investment in the real estate. We want to be able to decongest Nairobi. We want people to remain in their counties. So the only way you can be able to do that is to be able to fight corruption, send people to Kenya. So I'm really excited about today, and I know for a fact that this is going to be one of those manifestos where everybody will feel that they own part of it. Thank you very much.
Ore takulio mona ke nilimu lomoni nchere ibalunyi siligi egumo yoldunganak lengo be Kenya tangara kiorkilikwa yotoningo emu Raila Amolo Odinga tomba na iperta engibelekanya de uchumi oreke ile ramarade engobe Kenya dhulumu Raila Odinga jori nyamalatina right ado lo show na gatai mba kumok na ijo na jimo ya written osina tenebos ninye elauno tengesuma nirejo ninjela ipirnolete negono terikore ano rais lemiet lengobe Kenya lomon kulo ibalunyi Raila Odinga durgurodolo ntumoritin ne Nyayo National Stadium enkolong na bonadulu soye
Mitumba can have good product to sell here. I'm saying that we are not moving anybody out of business. We will ensure that those who are importing Mitumba get the first hand to market goods which are going to be manufactured here in this country. We will get the cotton, we'll gin it here, we'll spin it here, and we will make finished product here. And this will create again a very big source of employment for our youth in the country. We will also promote products like Bigsa, products like cocoa. Cocoa can grow here. Coconut is growing on the Sidai Island in Uganda. We'll introduce it here as a cash crop and use it to manufacture beverages here in this country. So, having exhausted manufacturing, we are going to also promote agricultural production. Agriculture will go hand in hand, as already been mentioned by our Minister for Agriculture, with manufacturing. We will promote agriculture in large scale, and we will also introduce smart agriculture so that our farmers can be able to get value for their efforts. We will subsidize our agriculture by providing farm inputs, providing seeds, providing fertilizers and chemicals at subsidized price. Effective from October this year, a bag of fertilizer will cost not more than 2,000 shillings from 6,000 shillings currently. We want to ensure that our farmers can work when they are happy. Maize production will also be expanded, and we ensure that we do not import maize when our farmers are having maize in their own warehouses. On the issues of health, we have already been told your Babacare is going to ensure that all Kenyans have got access to good health care. All Kenyans will be taken care of. We don't want to see any Kenyans dying from treatable diseases. We're going to promote research in our institutions here so that our people can be able to develop medicines that are made in Kenya rather than importing medicine from outside of our country. In terms of education, I've said that education is going to be free. By free, I mean free. Truly free. True. Our children will have access to free quality education from primary to university. It is doable because we are going to restructure our economy. We will have priorities which are going to set for our people. I've also mentioned that we are going to employ all the teachers who are trained and are actually staying idle at home immediately so that we can be able to improve quality of education in our schools. So we want the Kenyan to walk this journey with us. What we are trying to offer is not something that is impractical. It has been costed by our experts. We know exactly where the income is coming from, which is going to fund the program that we are going to release. So it is not utopia. It is something that has been worked on by very highly qualified Kenyans, and this is what we are offering. So generally, this manifesto is our contract to the people of Kenya. So we are ready to go. We are ready to go. We said before we start the journey, we should come together with all our supporters, representatives, and tell the people why we are running. And that is why we are here today. I want to say, as was stated already by those who spoke before me, that this is a result of a very lengthy consultative process with the people of Kenya. We said we don't just want to come and invent things, but we want to be able to represent the views of the people of Kenya. The people of Kenya have said that they want to see a change. They have said that for a long time they have waited for Kenyan dream to be realized. Where the forefathers had said that this country was going to be a God-fearing nation, that justice was going to be a shield and defender, that we are going to live in unity, peace, and liberty. And finally, that plenty was going to be found within our borders. For 80 years, they have seen only scarcity. They have not seen the plenty promised by the founding fathers. So we said we need to start on our journey toward realization of that dream. The foundation has partly been laid, but we need to expand on that foundation and move towards achieving the Kenyan dream by dealing a devastating blow to the three major enemies of our people: ignorance, poverty, and disease. Those are the three major enemies of our people. And we said that we confront them frontally by coming up with policies that are responsive to the needs of our people. That is why in this manifesto we have laid out our strategy of how to deal with those three major enemies of our people. We started with wealth creation. How do we create wealth? This country has remained for a long time a purely an agricultural country, with basically processing industries, processing agricultural products. You said now we want to go to proper industrialization. This country is very strategically situated on the eastern coast of Africa, on Indian Ocean seabed. It is therefore right to say that it can become a manufacturing hub for the region, Eastern Africa and Central Africa. So you said, you're not just going to come up with processing industries, processing agricultural produce, but primary manufacturing. Instead of importing steel, which we need in great amounts, as we're sitting under this dome here, all the frames here are steel frames. All the high-rise buildings that we have here are all supported by steel. The superhighway just behind us here, running from Mlolongo to Ayakiwe, it's all on steel, and most of it is imported into the country.
Ito Minister yura shiki mbe teknolojia tenebeli kioro tolomon Jo Musheru an yura shiki arubata na jene ICT mesipa lomono agrae tamanajo egeta orusa pebol ningor ni kununo system ya turkio male IBC lan yura shiki mbengelade etigilore katokole jirori na mba ne mesipa ne mishakino na robare ki katokola moltonga na glenjoto na jene upinzani o greta propaganda kigwana ne mete na baya.
I can confirm that the only polling stations that were not covered or are not covered at the moment are about 99. All other polling stations, which are over 50,000, are actually covered by 3G and 4G within the country. At the same time, I'm aware that IEBC has procured over 1,500 satellite devices which means for those almost 100 polling stations that were not covered, they have enough devices and spare to be able to cover the election 100% for transmission. So we are confident through the Communications Authority and through the work that they are doing now with the mobile operators that we should be able to have all the infrastructure that is required to provide the transmission and the network that is required. Let me be clear that we do not get involved in running the elections. People are saying Moshero has access to servers, can decide who is voting, who is going where. There is nothing that could be further from the truth. We do not have access to servers. Those servers are managed and they are run by the IEBC. Our chair will confirm that we had a joint team that was looking at election preparedness, and IEBC said they would do that themselves and they didn't want to be with us. So as it stands, we've provided them what they've asked for and we are not involved. I think the only concern I have is as of yesterday I learned that IEBC is giving access to other people to be able to know how many people are in that database. The chairman is on record saying that the register will be ready on June 9th. But now we are hearing
Rejo Minister yura shigin beseriani tangobe Kenya Daktari Fred Matiang'i mirasima itashola mayo otiki tenging'orunoto tontioli na gelus ngalifuni na rejogeti county na Jene Marsabit Dholimur Minister Matiang'i lekiliguaya na netumi ngumoyo ontioli na rejogi yata yoshiage aramatishore tiake na kopna Jene Marsabit nerejo nyanga na grabo na ngarisho ana mokoraisho tena kope Marsabit lomon kuloe makoro Minister Matiang'i edhulusodisa ikotekana neitara sadintioli ane ngumoyo ontioli tolamayo odudumura serikali tongirishat na basha tena kaunti ya Marsabit.
Now, first of all, let me thank you colleagues from media for being here. We started the day very early today. Tumekuwa out since 5:30 in the morning. We are in Marsabit County and we are reviewing Operation Rejesha Amani, Marsabit. I'm here with my colleagues, the Inspector General of the National Police Service, the Deputy Inspector General, the Regional Security Team, and the commanders of this operation. We were required by the National Security Council to review this operation, so we started first of all with meetings with the commanders and the team that is working on this operation, which is roughly about a month old. So one, we are very grateful and we want to thank our officers who have been on this operation, because for the last 1 month that they have been here, frankly, we have not had any worrisome incidents of security in this place. We have had so many meetings with members of the public. Wananchi are very happy about the operation and the curfew. We have met religious leaders, members of the Marsabit Interfaith Council. We are about to have a meeting with the political leadership of this county. And then we have had a long chat with the administrators here, the chiefs, assistant chiefs, and the others. So we have gotten very useful feedback on how the operation is going on. So far, over 200 guns have been collected and over 3,000 bullets have been recovered from this operation. We are hoping that more work in the second month of this operation, because we extended the curfew by another 30 days, more work will be done so that we can recover more guns, because we believe from intelligence and the information we have that there are more guns than the ones that we have collected. And the message we have been passing around to leaders and everyone since morning is that we need to recover more guns. We will review this operation when we have around 3,000 or so guns, because we believe there are still many more guns in wrong hands. We have intensified the operation and now we are moving to other sections of the county in addition to Marsabit Central and the town. I am very optimistic that we will continue at this pace. We will get all the guns we need, and most importantly, we will keep this place peaceful. the response we have from the local leaders, the community leaders here, and ordinary members of the public, we took time to walk around the shops, to talk to the shopkeepers and the traders in town. They are happy and satisfied with this operation. They have not raised any complaints about the operation. What they are asking is whether or not we can review the hours of the operation to allow for traders to hang on a bit in their businesses. But that in itself is a positive sign, because they are now beginning to think about operating businesses longer hours, which is something they have not been thinking about until the operation. But I have promised that we will review the operation in another 3 to 4 weeks, and subject to the performance at that time, we will see whether we can review the operation by 1 hour or 2 hours to address the issue of the traders in town who want an additional 1 hour of business, and because they are happy with the operation and they're happy that it is working. So we will stay on this assignment until this place remains peaceful. We have made assurances that we will not end the operation until after the general elections, because we want this place to be peaceful during the campaigns, during the elections, and even after the general elections. That is what Wananchi want to happen, and we will keep that in place. Once again, I want to thank our police officers and the team that has done the work they have done here. Inspector General and his team, my friend Batha and the Special DC was posted here through the decision of the National Security Council. That method has actually worked. That proposal has worked. The place is much more peaceful than it has been. We are going to carry out a raft of other measures to ensure that Marsabit remains peaceful, because what we are doing now, we don't want temporary peace. We want sustainable and long-term peace so that this place can realize its economic potential and people can go on to do what they need to do. And then the truth of the matter also is that this conflict and these challenges here have nothing to do with the ordinary Wananchi per se. A bit of it is politically motivated. A bit of it is a challenge caused by the proximity to the border and some of the things that we have allowed to happen over a long period of time. So we will adopt an all-of-the-above approach. We are going to do intensified screening, of people and individuals who move around where they are doing business or whatever they are doing, to ensure that we don't have, aliens and wrong people around here. We will continue to have a communal engagement with members of the public. We are going to intensify our workings with the Interfaith Council to ensure that community leaders are involved in the decisions that we make. But most importantly, we have this morning taken a decision to do a 100% review of the administrative infrastructure in Marsabit, because there are very fundamental weaknesses here. I mean, I am not going to lie to the public. The challenges we have with the deployment we have here of chiefs, assistant chiefs, and so on, is such that unless we address it, we will not solve the problems we have. The way that some of the chiefs, assistant chiefs may have been recruited in the past was outside because of political pressure, and sometimes too much attention to irrelevant things like clan affiliation and so on and so forth. And in the process, many of the administrators, actually, you can tell from the way they are working, have got their loyalties elsewhere, not in providing peace and security to the local people. And that's why some of them are not as forthcoming when it comes to giving information and cooperating with the security agencies who are here. We have too many security teams in Marsabit to have even a single security incident. When you look at overall deployment of security resources per capita, this is probably one of the counties that is most manned by security teams. We have more boots on the ground here in Marsabit than we do in over 80% of the counties in the country. So why should we have a problem? It could be a challenge in terms of reorganizing our administrative infrastructure so that it's much more cohesive, it works better in a multi-agency manner, cooperates with the others better. We have, because we are closer to a border, we have KDF deployment that is looking at the border. But we also have very strong presence of police, the special teams of the police on the ground. So we are reviewing all this and answering that question, because that is what the National Security Council asked us to do. They're asking us, how is it that with the numbers that we have on the ground and with the people who are posted here, we can have such security problems? And we have identified the problems. Sometimes poor coordination among our security teams, infiltration and interference sometimes by politics, and so on. So we will review all this, and we will come back again after 1 month now to institute a proper system. We are going to retrain our administrators here, our local administrators, our assistant chiefs and chiefs in Marsabit. All of them have to be retrained. And we have agreed this morning. We're going to work, because fortunately we have a template, we have a program, that we use at the Office of the President. We will do a local program here and retrain them all over again and reorient them to what they need to do. We will review each one of them, and those who can pass master we will see and look at the records of performance and so on. Because there is no reason why a county that is so endowed like this one should have such small problems that are now inhibiting economic growth and development. I mean, all of you wonderful people, look around this county. Even when you drive along this town, I mean, there is almost nothing you cannot do here. I mean, tourism can thrive here, all manner of business. We are very close to a very important border here and so on. This is a place whose economy should grow in an accelerated manner if we keep the peace.
Eta lakeshagoro ngwanake eta itiadwa oloshole Kenya oingoro lorika le rais na ore nane esiana kiti oleng edamone na jori teru olari longa lifunabo ipnaudo ntomonaudo wari 1992 pederu apela kuno thorkio mani kumok le siasa multi-party system na kedolu na jo enerishadana no rogesiana olari kokutik oingoro lorika lo rais. Ore tenarishadani tayogi enjoto lakesha kumok oleng ore loba yigi tayogi na Jimmy Wanjigi tenebo sinenye Walter Mungare yelotiana nyambane etomitigoki era ninche onom ebweta shangoro rikalera isonera ngasakenga longaisho mbala ne clearance ajaraga torusa bebwe ngoro olorikalera ore baikana rishadana lakesha goro ngwanake idadeye orkio mala IBC ajo ninchopwe ngoro olorikalera ore telelo na Raila Amolo Odinga lenjoto na jene Azimio One Kenya William Ruto lenjoto na jene UDA George Wajakoya le Roots Party tenebo Wahiga Mwaure tenebo sinje la sujak lenye ore le loti lenye na tenebo Martha Karua tenjote Raila Odinga Rigathi Gachagua tenjote William Ruto Ruth Mutua tenjote Wajakoya tenebo sinje Justina Wambui Wamae tenjoto Wahiga Mwaure le la Gachagua tadede yorkio mala IBC ajogipo ngorolika le rais.
He has a passport, he's in the register with the passport, but the passport expired, so
okay.
He hasn't.
Yes, welcome.
Bwana Chairman.
Yes, how are you?
How are you, my friend?
Good.
You keeping well?
Yeah,
very
good.
good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah. Welcome.
Asante.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, karibu. So, yeah, welcome to this ceremony for registration of candidates for presidential election. We have Mr. Jimmy Wanjigi of Safina Party. Your documentation, and we notice two major issues. Number one, notice that you don't have a degree certificate. Now, I refer to Section 22 of the Elections Act 22.2, which provides that a person may be nominated as a candidate for election, deputy county governor or deputy governor, if the person is holder of a degree from a university recognized in Kenya. The provision is that you must have a degree and give us a copy. I noticed that you have attached the transcripts. You'll be graduating sometimes in December, but what I need is a degree certificate. So that is one issue. The other issue is there was insufficient supporters list submitted, falling short by one county, and also the fact that we have there were some inconsistencies in the identity cards which were submitted to us. Although on this second limb, we've been allowing candidates to go and harmonize with our team. But on the first limb of the degree certificate, it's mandatory, and due to that, I'm rejecting your application to be nominated as a candidate for presidential election slated for 9th of August this year. So that is my decision as the returning officer for presidential elections. I don't know whether you wish to say anything. So your documents may be returned to you.
Would you like to say something?
Just wish to indicate that the requirement you write on the university degree speaks to equation, the equivalent of a degree. And a candidate having concluded his studies and obtained all the marks, he is equal, he has made the equation test. And the Commission of University Education has made a determination on that and communicated to you in respect to that university degree.
Nikenda baki ngorokyo lo Sidai TV kaji Samson Simpiri aka Newsman ayo akendama na mayana.